What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Chilling here with my beautiful wife G, and today we're going to be making something out of this book, which we absolutely love. It's called Thug Kitchen. I'll drop a link in the description box below so you can pick it up, but it has all great vegan recipes and a lot of swear words in the book, so that's why I love it. Today we're going to be making these crispy millet and peanut butter Buckeyes. That's what they look like right there. And it's a great thing to make during the holidays, right? Because we always get inundated with chocolate and a lot of other like sweets during the holidays. And this particular one is good because you can make it in a big batch. We're gonna make 24 of them today. I'll give you the recipe, so don't worry about the recipe, but here's some of the ingredients, one of which, and the main ingredient, is millet. Looks like that right there.
There's it.
Oh yeah. Millet's been grown in Southeast Asia and Africa for years. It's gluten-free, which is great for anybody that has gluten intolerance. And once we're done with the 24 per Buckeye, it's 107 calories, 2.9 grams of protein, 10 grams of carbs, and 19.5 grams of fat. So G, what do we got going here?
Okay, so the great thing, as Ed mentioned, about making these Buckeyes right before Halloween is that it's a healthier alternative than your traditional Buckeye. And if you want to substitute any of the ingredients, which I've done with a couple, you're more than welcome to. It's a very simple, basic recipe. So if there's a gluten allergy concern, you can substitute the all-purpose flour for a gluten-free flour, and then play around with, if you are concerned about the sugar content, using an alternative for that. As I was making this, I thought it might be an alternative to substitute the powdered sugar for dates, and it would also create a thicker consistency. So the first thing you need to do is to brown slightly the millet. This is gonna create a kind of a nutty, crunchy, Rice Krispie texture for the Buckeyes. And so just take a small nonstick pan, and I just use the coconut oil, and I'll just use a spray. It asks for half a teaspoon, but you can actually use maybe slightly less. So we'll get the pan nice and warm. This will only take about 3 to 5 minutes. And it's one of those things where you have to stay by the pan and watch it. It's not unlike browning some nuts. So you just want to keep them moving. You see how pale they are now. And you will just wait until they are slightly browner than they are.
Millet, by the way, just looking up here on WebMD, excellent source of vitamin A, B, potassium, niacin, calcium, and iron. And there was another interesting little tidbit here that it is low on the glycemic index. So for anybody that has diabetes, anything low on the glycemic index means that it can keep your blood sugar from spiking after eating. So people with diabetes, to manage their blood sugar levels more easily, millet is a great option.
So sometimes you have a wayward millet. So you have again, the recipe will be linked in the comments below, so you won't have to worry about that. So you can see they're already getting darker. Just a couple more minutes. Anytime I'm browning something, I try to spread it out as much of a single layer as I can.
It's kind of like a mix between, or like a hybrid between brown rice and quinoa, right? So texture-wise, it's obviously a little bit smaller than a grain of brown rice, but very similar to quinoa, but a little bit crunchier.
And if you're someone that likes crunch like I do and texture, in your desserts, this is a nice alternative to, you know, Rice Krispies or nuts if someone has a nut allergy. And then you can substitute the peanut butter for some other type of non-nut butter, which they do have out there.
And it's always fun making stuff during the holidays, especially now since everybody's home, right? I think everyone's going to be sheltering in place at least through probably the end of the year, or at least not going into work and into the office as much. So hanging out with your loved ones, making some good tasting stuff is always fun.
Also good to add these if you are, like we like to give little treats to our neighbors. That this is the color of the regular millet. I don't know if you can tell with the lighting, just slightly browner. So we'll just set those aside.
And if you guys are wondering what a Buckeye is and what the origin is, it's from the Midwest. It's supposed to resemble an Ohio Buckeye tree nut. It's basically, so this particular thing is a peanut butter cup in a ball form.
So,
all right, what do you got?
So we're gonna make the filling,
Okay.
and it's we're gonna start with the peanut butter. So this is 2/3 of a cup of creamy peanut butter. Again, you can substitute almond butter, but we were right down to the end of our creamy peanut butter, so it makes sense to use. The other thing you can do, because it's Halloween, would be a fun treat to make, is you can add little eyeballs, you know, edible eyeballs to the top of these Buckeyes, and they would be a cute little Halloween themed dessert. So that's 2/3 of the cup of the peanut butter, and then a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar.
1/4 cup of powdered sugar.
2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And then get that mixed in. And I just try to start with the peanut butter and the dry ingredients, get that incorporated as much as I can.
The good thing with these, separate from the millet, you probably have a lot of this stuff at home just in your cupboard, right? Peanut butter, you can use almond butter.
And then they make a non-nut butter out there too. So if you have
if anybody has any peanut allergies, maybe look for a non-peanut alternative, which they do have on the market. That's the great thing about, you know, being plant-based or looking for alternatives now, because so many people have different allergies and preferences for eating. You can find just about anything on the market now. So
1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. So this is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm just going to use 3. Get that in there.
Okay, it's coming together.
So as you can tell, it's sticky, and when I was doing a pre-cook yesterday, and I was rolling these into balls because that's the next step, it's pretty messy. So I think what I would do next time is chill it a little bit, and then use a little baller to shape the balls. Although this is a slightly bit drier. So what you're going to do at this point, you see all the ingredients are incorporated, super easy, is the cookbook says a walnut size. You can do any size you want because there's no cooking, so you don't have to be concerned about that, and this is so much neater. So walnut size balls, you're going to place them in a parchment lined pan, just like that. Yeah, this is far less sticky than when I did a trial run yesterday. Now this should make 24 balls. I think I tend to make a bigger size because I always end up with less. If that mixture is slightly cooler. So we did pre-freeze some yesterday.
Freezer here.
And again, these were a stickier version, and it might have been the almond butter so they're not as round, but I think we can, you know, maybe shape them. And that's okay if they're not perfectly round. They're still edible and still good. So the next step is that we're going to heat up the chocolate. So we need double boiler situation. You know, nothing new here. So we'll just add our, and I did substitute here, these are dark chocolate vegan chips. So they're dairy free. And this is the brand that they sell at Whole Foods. I know there's another brand out there. This one will work just fine. And this should just take about 3 minutes to get these melted.
They're melted.
I just need to grab a little thing to grab it with.
Who doesn't like some chocolate?
Just want to get it to the consistency that you can dip something in and it'll coat it. You could add some vegan milk at this point, just to get it creamier. Or if you want something shiny, you can add a little coconut oil. That will be more of a ganache consistency.
The good thing is it's like from start to finish. What do you think the prep time is?
Well, you need to chill the balls for 30 minutes in the freezer or a couple hours in the fridge. So sometimes that works for me because you can do things in phases.
Right.
So if you had to go run errands or do a little work in between, that works out just fine. And what I've learned with melting chocolate is don't wait till it's all the way melted. Just wait till it's mostly melted, and then you can melt the rest off the burner, so you don't cook it too much. So as soon as I stop seeing
the morsels,
the morsels, then we're good. Yeah. Get every bit of chocolate there. And then we'll take our Buckeyes. So this is what the chilled one looks like. These are not as round. That was user error. And then you want to just cover them and leave a little bit of the peanut butter showing. And then you take a toothpick. Sure I don't lose my string. But so that didn't turn out so round. That's okay. Let's try.
You want to try a round one?
Let's try a round one and a softer one.
Yeah.
So those just came out of the freezer, so that might be the problem. And the chocolate's hot.
Right. The good thing is once these are done, just throw them in like a little Ziploc bag. Easy to travel with.
Yeah, if you're going to store them for a while, then you can skip the toothpick part.
That looks good.
That's a little more rounder.
That looks good.
And that's the process. Do that. And then, of course, if you really want them to be perfect, you can do this on a drying rack, cooling rack.
Can I try one?
Sure. You mean taste one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to add even more to your Buckeyes. You can roll these in unsweetened shredded coconut or some finely chopped nuts.
You know what it tastes like? It tastes like a peanut butter cup with crunch in it. And then
And there's the picture of what they look like when they're perfect.
they'll look like that. So, I'll put the recipe down below just in case you don't want to buy the whole book. Again, it's Thug Kitchen.
Although the book is great.
It is.
And what I like about this particular book is not the swear words are fun to read, but none of the recipes require a whole lot of ingredients that you'd have to go searching for. So probably the average of 5 ingredients per recipe, super easy to make. So you're not spending hours in the kitchen, and all vegan. So it's a win-win.
Yep. So there you go, guys. If you guys are just hanging out, want something fun to do, not very hard to put this together, and like I said, separate from the millet, which you can just buy anywhere now. You probably have most of these ingredients at the house. So yeah, we're gonna finish these up, put them in the refrigerator, and enjoy them later. Hope you enjoyed that. Be well, be kind to yourself and others, and most importantly, believe in yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. Please continue to subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the new subscribers that have jumped on board. Hit the like button and the notification bell, and stay safe, and keep wearing those masks.
And if you try it, send us pics.
Yeah,
We'd love to see.
love to see it. All right, you guys, enjoy the rest of the weekend. See you next week.